All right. Okay. Hey, everybody. All right. So we have another hot seat coaching. I guess they're like episodes now, but that's okay. I don't really know what to call them, but for those of you that are new to the Facebook group, a while back, so this was probably at least a couple weeks ago, I did a poll in the group about creating that client story. I think so often we get wrapped up into the I help XYZ in this way, and here's why you need me. And it's very, very, it's just very generic. And so one of the things that we have been doing, and if you watched last week with Sarah, was about like to creating that client story. So the story that says, yes, this is me. Yes, this is exactly right. Like, how did you know that was me? So Nicola, is that how you say your name?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Nicola. Okay. Has you offered Dubsado setups? You're more of like a systems operations specialist, correct?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And you focus primarily with Dubsado?
So I focus on Dubsado and ClickUp as well as the main platforms.
Okay. But your more recent article or offer is for Dubsado, correct?
So I now have a new offer which is kind of like a full systems build out. So it's your operational build out. And initially I just had a Dubsado setup package, whereas now I have a full I guess you could call it a full scope systems build out. So it includes Dubsado, ClickUp, and all the core operational processes that you need.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit. So it's full service. So it's everything. Like, why does your client need both?
Mm-hmm. So, as in both services or both platforms?
Both platforms.
So the difference between Dubsado and ClickUp, they both serve for different reasons. So Dubsado serves for your clients, so for your client management, it supports you for your onboarding. You can manage your invoicing, your contracts. ClickUp pretty much takes over the reins of everything else in your business, and it can also support your client experience as well. So the two are very complementary. And I've worked as an OBM and helped clients to build that out in their business. And so I've seen and been able to sort of put that together for clients and seen the results. So that's why I really focus on the two platforms, because they're very powerful, but together they just cover everything that you need, literally.
Okay. So speak to me about the ideal client for this package. I would assume this is a fairly high ticket offer.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely a high ticket. So it is definitely more for a service provider. And I'm sort of switching my niche to more creative, sort of creative agency owners, marketers, designers. But they are individuals who are growing a team as well. And the reason why I'm doing that is because this individual or this particular client, um, they're no longer looking to work as a solopreneur. So they are looking to refine their processes. They're also needing to build out processes to manage their teams, to be able to delegate better and manage their projects with their clients a lot better as well. So it is for someone who works with contractors or has, a small team with them as well.
Okay, so that speaks to like who it is. But now let's talk about the story behind that they're in. So I've got a couple things, but like, what are some things like if you were in their everyday world, what's going wrong for them?
There's a few things. So first of all, they have scaled way too quickly. They scaled, and so they've outgrown their systems. What they have as systems aren't necessarily what their company can or will support their company anymore. So that's happened. They've taken on a team, and so with the delegation piece, there's this recurring cycle of the client work comes in, they try to delegate, there are a lot of questions, things get done differently, or things fall through the cracks. Nothing is actually systemized in an organized way. So the owner of the business finds themselves coming in, they'll kind of try to get out of the weeds, and then they find themselves being pulled back in and having to either put out fires or answer questions that really don't need to be asked if it's documented well. And as a result, it just can feel very messy. So the team get overwhelmed. The CEO is still burnt out because they are doing everything still, or doing a lot still. And there's no clear structure in the actual business. And so a lot of what's happening on the day to day is pretty much just reactive, as opposed to it's focused and it's intentional.
Okay, what's keeping them up at night? Like what is that one thing that they just cannot? I mean, like they've got, okay, so we've scaled, that's fine. I'm scaling, I've got my team. There's something like what is that one thing that's keeping them up at night
I love that
in regards to this?
question.
Like,
So
what's making it so they can't sleep? They're stressed all the time. They're talking to their family about it nonstop. Their family's sick of hearing about it. Like, what is it? You know what I mean? You've been there. Like at the dinner conversation, they're having the same conversation all the time. What is that conversation they're having?
So I'm going to say there's a couple of things, and these are the things that I've seen from working with agencies. The first is that fear of actually dropping the ball on clients in a big way, because once there's a hit or it affects the clients, it can then affect the income, the revenue, and there's a snowball effect. So that's
okay. Wait. No, let's dive in. So the fear is not that they're afraid of dropping the ball. The fear is that their client is going to be unhappy.
Yeah.
And that they're going to lose the income.
The income. Yeah.
Okay, so right there, this is a great example. We'll keep going from this, but do you see the difference in like you have a fear of dropping the ball, right? Okay, a lot of us have a fear of dropping the ball. A lot of systems operations specialists say you're afraid you're going to drop the ball.
Yeah.
You're now saying you're awake all night long, afraid you're going to drop the ball. Your client's going to be unhappy. They're going to lose money because you didn't get to the job that you said you were going to get to. Your team doesn't know what the deadline is. And all of that snowballs and leads to lost income for not only you, but for your client. You have a fear of letting your client down.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. What other conversations are they having?
So the other conversation is oh God, it was just in my head.
I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't have interrupted.
That's fine. So it was dropping the ball with the clients and just kind of feeling like they're on this hamster wheel of they know there's an easier way, but they don't know how, and they don't have the time to actually do the research and implement what needs to be done. So it's like they have this puzzle, this business, which is their puzzle. They know there's a way to put it together so that it works, but they really don't know where to start. And that can feel quite intimidating, to simplify everything down.
Okay, so if we were going to go with that, like, so there's an easier way because you've seen other people do it.
Yeah.
Other people in your field are running like a well-oiled machine. And you feel like you have all the pieces, but you have no idea how to get them to that well-oiled machine. Because right now they're all cranking it at a different speed. One's not feeding to the next. You know what I mean? So is that, you know what I mean? Again, like, that you can have the ability. You've seen it. Your competitors are running like a well-oiled machine, and you're not.
That's it. They're scaling and you can't scale. Why can't you scale? Why can't you push through this current income barrier or this current growth barrier that you're at?
Okay. So there's another one. You can't. And what else is keeping them up at night? Do you have anything else?
There's no balance. There's no balance in their life, in terms of what they thought running a business would look like versus what it is actually like running a business. And actually knowing that the team has their back, and the team can have their back in the sense of they know what's expected of them, they know their roles, they know what their responsibilities are. And as a business owner, you could step away from that without feeling like your business is going to fall to the ground if you're not there.
Okay, so there's another key point, right? Like that's one
Yeah.
thing. You've got a vacation coming up, but you
Yeah.
don't have enough trust in your team because you
Mm,
know that you are the bottleneck. You
yeah,
as the CEO are still the bottleneck. You're still the one that's delegating every little thing. You've got a vacation coming up. You want to leave your business, but you can't, because if you do, your clients are going to be unhappy. The
they-
ball's going to get dropped, right? You know that, like, you see your other competitors doing this, but you have no idea how to do it.
yeah, literally. It feels so painful hearing it back.
Right?
Yeah.
But like, if you think about this
Mm,
from this perspective, when you start sharing in this way, like, how many people can go, yeah, you're right. Like, I've got this vacation coming up and I've got 10 clients. They all need something different. My team, I'm constantly having to like give them piecemeal things. I'm
mm,
piecing it out, but there's nobody really knows what they're working on unless I tell them what to do. I'm forward facing with the client, which means I'm responsible for making sure the client is happy. And if my team drops the ball, that's on me. We all lose the income, right?
yeah.
So
And
you
it's
start to really, now your ideal client, who is this CEO, who is up at night with all of these random thoughts going, I would say too, your CEO is going in the middle of the night. Did you remember? Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell so and so to do that. Oh my God.
they're
Oh my
going to do
God, I
it.
forgot to do that. I
Yes,
forgot to tell them they need to do this for this client.
exactly.
And so you get up first thing in the morning because you want to make sure that it gets done and your client doesn't realize that you forgot.
Exactly.
So when you can
We've
speak,
all been there. Yeah. If you've got
right? So there's your
in there.
story, your ideal client's story. Like, those are the things
Yeah.
that are keeping them up. Like, you forgot. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Like, because your systems don't work right. Or, I mean, this happened to me last night. I owed somebody like a folder. I had to send her, like, set up a folder and send the onboarding form. But my process is very manual. And I'm like, I woke up in the middle, I'm like, shit, I forgot to send that to them. Right? Like, it should just be working. This
Yes.
is growth, right? Like,
Right.
you've grown. You don't have time. Like, you don't need to be waking up. So here you speak to your ideal client. Like, you don't need to be waking up anymore in the middle of the night because you forgot to set up a folder or send your client their onboarding form,
Yeah, that is so true. That is so true.
right? So
That's good.
what else? What else goes in with this offer?
So with the actual offer itself, so we walk them through a strategy. So it starts with a VIP strategy session. We go through their systems, we refine their workflows, we determine what the processes are that need to be put into place. So there's a very detailed agenda for that VIP day, and then we walk away with a project plan. And then my team and me will actually set up everything that needs to be done for their business. So we focus on the client processes, team processes, and restructuring their project management tool and making sure that that's working for their business. And then we also put together the processes, the SOPs, sorry. So we document down how things will be done in their business going forward. And then we do training and handoff.
Okay, so those are all things, again, same thing. They sound a lot like, but again, one of
Right.
the things that's going to come up is, but what, I don't know what my SOPs are. I don't know what my process is. So, okay, don't worry about it. Like, we understand you don't have your processes documented. You don't even know what the steps are. So
That's
all you have to do is voice them to us and we're going to take care of the rest. We're going
literally.
to ask you the strategic questions to make sure we have a full understanding of your exact process, and we're going to completely do it all for you. So don't feel like you need to come to us with these things already laid out. We understand, like, you're way too busy for that. You don't have it. You've scaled too quickly. There was no time to set those things up. So my team, that's what we're experts in, and we're going to make sure we ask you the strategic questions to get you there, right?
Yeah,
Versus
that's it.
we set them up, right? So it's, again, like, now you're training, like, oh, okay, I don't have to come, like, oh, I don't have to do this. Oh, I don't have to.
That's it.
They're just going to do it.
All the questions, we'll ask the questions we need to know to get, to work with you and build that out with you. So we can strategize in terms of what they don't have versus what is missing or what they have and needs to be refined. So
Right.
we
So speak to the points, because that comes up, because a lot of people don't,
yeah,
a lot of people, it's like, it's that the theory, like, I need to clean my house before the house cleaner gets here because I don't want her to see what kind of a mess we live in, right? Like, so before they come to you, they feel like they've got to clean it up and they've got to have this laid out and this laid out. So you need to make sure and explain on the side, like, no, we get it. Like, come to us with your hot mess. Like, come to us. We're going to ask you. You don't need to have anything documented, or even if you have a bunch of little index cards, like, come to us with your index cards full of processes. Or don't come to us with anything. We'll ask the questions and we'll document your process for you.
Yeah, we build it out.
So, because that's your ideal clients, probably that's going to be a big thing. Like, they're going to come to you. That's going to be a huge objection is, yeah, but I don't have anything. Let me get myself prepared. Right. So hit the objection on the head. So now you know exactly what's keeping them up at night, and they can go, yes, this is me. The objection is, but I'm not ready. No, you don't need to be ready. That's the whole point of this offer. The whole point of the offer is that we understand you're not ready.
Yeah, it's to get you ready. And it happens. People will have Google Docs and that's all they have. Just a Google Doc or a Google Sheet, and that's their process. That's how they run things with their team. So we'll pull it all out and create it.
Okay. So instead of focusing so much on these exact, like, the tools that you're going to use to get them there, it's more about making sure that you're coming through from us in that story perspective of the objections that they're going to get. You know what I mean? Like, nope, I get it. Like, how many of you, again, like that waking up in the middle of the night forgetting to do something, that in itself, you can come up with a million different examples, like with your entire process, whether it's with their client onboarding process, whether it's because their invoices aren't reoccurring, and oh shoot, the first of the month is coming up, and how many of you are going to spend hours reinvoicing your clients because it's not set up automated, right? Like, or, so keep thinking, like, all of those things are what's waking them up at night. It's all the things they're forgetting to do.
Yay. So I love that. That's it. All the things that are just falling through the cracks. And yeah, even the smallest bits that they know they've said it, but it's that second guessing of, but did I say it correctly, so that it gets picked up correctly, all of those things.
And it's the small pieces that are the ones that create the downfall, right? And so those are the things that are going to speak to your client. When you speak to the big things, like, do I have SOPs in place? Like, I might look at that and go, no, because right now I'm too busy in the trenches to get SOPs set up. Right now, I need to make sure that my clients are served. Right now, I need to make sure my team knows what they're working on and I'm delegating correctly. So using the language, yes, we all know, SOPs are important. The SOPs are what's going to help them delegate, but they don't realize the importance of that, right? So speaking that is like, yeah, okay, fine, down the line when I get to it. But if you can speak to the fact that your team is sitting there waiting on you because you haven't delegated properly, your team can't find their assigned tasks because you have they're waiting on you and you forgot to send them the email telling them what they needed to do. You forgot, right? Like, so that's the thing. Or you have this system set up, but your notifications aren't working right, or it's not automated, and every single piece you have to move from one step to another. Those are the things that your client's going to relate to. Documenting SOPs, they're not.
Yeah, no, nobody likes to document SOPs.
Right. So you don't even need to bring it up, because again, like, how you do something, the process or how you do it doesn't matter. I don't care how you do it. I need to know that you're going to you're going to keep me from waking up in the middle of the night.
That's it. Literally.
Does that help?
This is gold. I'm literally like, oh, I need the replay.
It will be there. I can actually, if you want to, I can download it and send it to you.
Oh yeah, that'll be cool. Yeah. No, that's been so helpful, because I don't use too much storytelling in my marketing. I use just a lot of facts, and I'll just get to the point. And storytelling is good.
Well, we all do, but the reality is like, think about it. And this has been a struggle for me too. So don't think that I haven't been there, because I talk about, like, we're going to figure this out. But now, like, if I speak to you and say, like, okay, when a client came to me they were all over the board. Like they had different packages. Every single one of their clients was paying them something different. Every single client was on a different package. They could not make any further money. They were making the same amount of money every month. Every month they were falling short of that goal, right? Like you can start to see like, oh yeah, that's me. That's me. Yeah, like I'm all over the place. Versus, let's figure out where you're at. Let's figure out what's working. Let's figure out what's not working, right? Like you want to meet them where they're at right now. And where they're at right now is what's waking them up in the middle of the night.
Oh, that's good. That's really like completely shifted my perspective on it, on how I would think about my content as well, and just positioning that.
And it's going to speak to your ideal client, right? This is again where you're getting out of paying clients to dream clients. You're not looking to work with a client that just shows up with a credit card. You want to work with the client that's saying, yes, you're speaking my language. I need you. I need everything about you. Like you're right. Like I am that person. I haven't slept in days. My husband is annoyed. Like I keep him up all night. Like I'm cranky with my kids because I've been up all night because I'm afraid I dropped the ball. My clients are unhappy. My family's unhappy. Nothing's working right. Like, see, now I'm like, oh my God, yes, this is me.
You feel it. You literally, because even now I've gone back through all my clients before and I'm like, oh yeah, they struggled with this and this. And you do start thinking about like the emotional side of what they're going through.
Emotion side, exactly. It's
even though I do systems, but there will be times you'll be on the call sort of going through the emotions of just the overwhelm of using a new platform or working differently. Even that is a huge shift in their business, having to think differently, work differently, and just guiding them through it. So it's giving me flashbacks.
so use all of that, like go back on all those clients, right? Like go back on all those clients and be like, wow, when this client came to me, here's some of the emotions that came up for them when this one, and use that, because especially if they were your ideal client.
Yeah, for sure. This is it. And it's done that. It's really done that. So that's been amazing.
Good. Do you have any other questions? Does that help?
No, I think that is so cool. It's actually given me a lot to think about. I've got some content to plan for next week, so I'm going to be keeping those points in mind. So thank you so much.
Yeah, just the one thing that and for anybody watching too, because this holds true for everybody, is that you are not the only person that does Dubsado and ClickUp setups, right? Like you're not. And saying like I work with covering everything you need and creative agency owners, and you no longer have a team, you don't want to be a solopreneur, you need to delegate better. Those are the same things that every systems person is saying, right? We hear that over and over and over again. So you then become the one in many that I have to choose from. What makes you different? Like, why am I going to work with you? Like, how do I know you're the expert I need? When you start getting in my head and I'm going, how'd she know that I was up last night? Because I forgot to send that client that email. You know what I mean? Like now I'm like, oh, wait. And then, so not only that, like you show me, here's where you are. Here's this, like what's keeping you up. Here's how I can make this not happen for you.
Yeah, love it. And you're right, 100% right. There's so many, the messaging is so similar everywhere. So you really do want to like differentiate where I'm at, Yep.
Yeah. And this is a high ticket offer. So you've got to speak to that high ticket client.
It has to be. Yeah, exactly. So no, this is.
And you might even want to speak to how many team members they have, right? Like this is not probably for that solopreneur that has one team member. No, this is for the solo team that you're trying to manage 5 different people. And you forgot Susie needed this from you and you forgot to give it to her. Because you were too busy working with Tim, because you needed to get him on board and make sure he knew what he was doing, that Susie didn't know what she was doing.
Yeah. And that is literally it. It's like, it would be, I'd say, at least 5 team members.
So use that in your language too, because you don't want to be getting on a bunch of calls with somebody that's got 1 team member, right? Like it could be, and it's exactly, but somebody that is got, if you're speaking to the person with 5 team members, the person with 1 team member that's there and ready and is there to invest will resonate the same. But if you're speaking to the person that only has 1 team member, that higher level client's not going to resonate with that content, right?
Yeah, that's very true as well. So you would say get as specific to that ideal client, like I creative agency owners with, you know, a team of
Exactly.
X
If that's
amount.
who you want to work with, why not call it
Yeah,
out?
get that specific. So okay,
Why
cool.
not? Because that's going to
Yeah,
guarantee you only are speaking to creative service providers with 5+ team members, right?
numbers. That's it. So cool. I'm gonna do that.
All right. Any other questions?
No, no more questions for me. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Glad this was helpful. Let me know if you have any other questions.
Thank you.
All right. We'll talk soon.